Okay, so we are looking at finishing up that problem from Friday. So when I do x plus 2, that gives me what? What's negative 6 plus 2? And then we're just going to count. So negative 4, negative 3, negative 2, negative 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And when we do the product, that means we're just multiplying these numbers. And so what is the product of those two things? What is 4 times, or negative 4 times 21? No, negative 84 is right. I just wrote it down backwards. Negative 3 times 12? 5 times 2? 0 times negative 1? Negative 3 times 0? 4 times, negative 4 times 1? Negative 3 times 2? 0 times 3? 5 times 4? And 12 times 5? And 2 times 6. Okay, so now we're going to graph this. So negative 6 was at negative 84, which is way off the chart. Negative 5 was at negative 36, so still way off the chart. Negative 4 was at negative 10. Negative 3 was at 0. Negative 2 was at 0. Negative 1 was at negative 4. And remember, they're counting by 2's on this one. 0 is at negative 6. 1 was at 0. 2 was at 20. And so we're just kind of going off the chart that way. I'm willing to bet I erased a number that was supposed to be here. Okay. And I'm about to zoom this in a little bit so y'all can kind of see what's going on. Oh, that's not the button I wanted to hit. Okay. So we kind of know what's going on in all of these points. But where we don't know what's going on is between these two dots. Do you think it's going to go above the line or below the line based upon the patterns y'all saw Friday? You're correct. It's going to go above. And worst case scenario, if you didn't know for certain, you couldn't figure it out, you'd plug in like this was at negative 2.5, plug in a negative 2.5 and find out the value. Okay. And that was giving us our P of X. And so now we have zeros. At x equals negative 3, negative 2, and 1. Remember that here we had zeros at x equals negative 3 and x equals 1. So we've added in that new 0 of x equals negative 2. And that came because of the factor that we added in, or we multiplied by, which was x plus 2. So we're going to dilate this graph by x plus 3. But first, we need to identify the x and the y values off the original graph. And so we need to figure out what we're counting by again. What are we counting by? What's our scale?
Is it 10 or?
No, not 10. 10 gets us here. What does it get us to get us to this line?
Or what is that, 2.5?
Not 2.5. Look at your graph. You have it in front of you. You may not be able to see it as well on the board as you can in front of you. No. We need to go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's 2. And so let's look and see if we can find some good locations. And so oops. Let me erase this real quick. And so, oh, so it's not my eraser. There's gonna be some good ordered pairs. It's giving me something happening on each side of the y-axis each time I cross. And it's giving me some stuff that's happening down here at the origin or around the vertex. If you wanted to go up further, you could also get this point here at 12. Because that'll be another good spot. But we'll only use that if we need to. Okay. And so -4, where would you call that at? If I counted by twos.
-2. Or,
1, 2, 3. So 2, 4, 6. At -3, I'm at 0. At -2, I went down 1 and halfway to the next one, so -1.5. At -1, I'm at -4. Excuse me, I was counting by twos there for a second. -3. At -1, I'm at -4. At 0, I'm at -3. 1, I'm at 0. Excuse me. And then at 2, I'm back up at 6. So let's find the x plus 3. So we're going to take our x column and add 3 to it. So -4 plus 3. -3 plus 3. -2 plus 3. -1 plus 3. 0 plus 3. 1 plus 3. 2 plus 3. So now we're going to take and find the product. So -6, 0, -3, -8, -9, 0, 30. Then we're going to graph your x, comma, your y. And so at -4, I am at -6. At -3, I'm at 0. At -2, I'm at -3. At -1, I'm at -8. At at 0, I'm at -9. At 1, I'm back to 0. At 2, I'm at 30, so I'm off the chart by 2. So when I sketch this, it's going to look something like this. So I have zeros here and here. What's different about this 0 at -3 than the other ones we've had so far? It's the same one as the original one. Same as this other one, it's the same one. But we touched it and it came back the same direction. Versus this one where we went on through. So all the other ones have always crossed. This is the first one we had where it didn't cross. So we had one where, so how many zeros did this one have? How many times did it go through? 2. So this question had 2 zeros. How many zeros did this one have? You had 3. -3, -2, and 1. So we had one less 0, but we didn't cross it each time. We only touched it and went back. So that answers the question for B. Now we're going to go through and we're going to do this 4 times. The last 2 go with that graph paper I gave you. So if you didn't get that graph paper, you're going to want to have it for C and D. The one that's one-sided is C, the other one's D. Okay. So this graph is this product. And so we're going to start off with X and Y from the graph. And I'm going to walk you through this one, and then I want y'all to try to do the next ones, okay? If you haven't figured out, I do like to try to go by ones on my X when I'm getting the values, or by 0.5s, but not usually skip a whole lot more than that. So my X at -2, I was at +3. When my X was -1, I was at 0. My X was 0, I was at -1. When my X was 1, I was at 0. When my X was 2, I was at positive 3. What are we multiplying that by? What does it say that we're going to multiply it by? X. So that's going to go here. So it wasn't really hard on this one. Oops, it's supposed to be a 2. Then we're going to find the product. Which means that we are looking at finding the product between the x and the y. So what is 3 times negative 2? What is 0 times negative 1? What is negative 1 times 0? What is 0 times 1? 3 times 2. And so let's go ahead and go graph this. So at negative 2, I was at positive 6, correct? Or was it negative 6? So negative 6 is off my graph this way. At negative 1, I was at 0. And then where was I my next one? What do you think I want to do at this point? Am I going to go above or below the line, do you think, here? Above, because I don't have that duplicate 0. What do you think I'm going to, and so the next spot was at 1, 0. Since I don't have 2 x's, I'm going to go below. And my next point is at positive 6. So something like that. And I want to help you get this chart going on the next one. And then I want you to work on the next 3 for homework. So we have x and y, so we need to come with some ordered pairs. If you wanted to get this one here, you could. I'm just going to do the ones around it and not try to get the vertex exactly. Just know that the vertex is just close to it, and it'll be continuing on that same path, leaving it. So it'll kind of keep the path. And so this time we're counting by 0.5s. So at negative 1, I'm at 3. At negative 0.5, I'm at 0. At 0, I'm at negative 2. At positive 0.5, I'm at negative 3. And then at positive 1, I'm back to negative 3. And then at 1.5, I'm at negative 2. At 2, I'm at 0. At 2.5, I'm up at 3. What would my next column be? And so we're going to take this first column and subtract 2 from it. And so you'd end up with negative 3, negative 2.5, negative 2, negative 1.5, negative, excuse me, yeah, negative 1, negative 0.5, 0, and 0.5. And then you're going to find your product, and then you're going to graph these ordered pairs all the way down. And I will go over with you at the end of class some of these graphs. Okay?
Sounds good.
If not, at the beginning of class tomorrow if we need more time.